All right. So awesome. So I see some people are already joining us. Hello, everyone. Let's do this a little bit so I can see you guys and you can see me. All right, fantastic. So today we have a topic that I'd like to address, that is the difference between an immigration lawyer, a paralegal, and a notario. Okay, and I'm going to describe them in general terms so we understand them and you know the difference before you make a decision on who to hire for your immigration case. And of course, there are cost considerations, experience, education, other considerations as well. So, in the United States, a lawyer is handling both transactional work and litigation, which is court cases. Okay. And I'm glad you guys are here. So we are on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. And we are also on TikTok, which is where we get the most engagement usually. And feel free to put your chats. Oh, hi, Gary. Good to see you. So we are going to discuss today the main differences between notario, paralegal, and immigration attorneys. And hopefully this makes some of you decide which is the best option for you. Okay. So let's go first. What is a notario? Okay. In the United States, a notary public is a person who is allowed to certify that the person that's sitting in front of them is the person who is actually signing the documents. And they do that by asking the person for identification, making sure it's the same person, and it's that person signing the document. Okay. In general, in the United States, it varies very little by state, but in the United States, we become notary publics by taking a course for a few hours, or depending on the state, up to a week, and then taking an exam, which is relatively easy, and then you're a notary public. Nothing in this process makes anyone eligible for or qualified to provide legal advice, fill out immigration forms, help anything in the immigration process, or help to do anything in the immigration process. Even doing translations and interpretations. Yes, most of them, most people who do translations and interpretation of languages also are notary publics. Now, the difference and the biggest misconception out there is for people who come from the rest of the Americas, Latin America, Central America, South America, and so on, and most other civil jurisdiction cases. We are in the United States, we have common law jurisdiction. And these individuals who come from these countries, in their countries, the way the legal system is set up is that notarios, okay, it's a Spanish term. Notarios are also attorneys, but they're handling transactional law, fill out forms, contracts, sending information, and so on. And in some of these countries, actually, notarios work for the government, okay? That is the biggest misconception when they come to the United States and they see, generally speaking, in communities where the majority of people are Spanish speakers, okay? When they go to those communities, they see signs in Spanish saying notario público. Well, notario público in Spanish means notary public in English, but it's a misleading term because it implies that these people are lawyers who can do certain things in immigration, fill out forms, and so on. And that is not the case. Remember, in the United States, notary publics are only authorized to swear that you're the person in front of them who's actually signing that document. Okay, so that's the biggest one, biggest, and that's the one you need to stay away from. Now, there are plenty in the community, plenty people who know the difference, who will not misrepresent themselves, and they can still help you do your immigration paperwork as long as you tell them, this is the form that I want filled out. and I need you to help me fill out this form. And they can't ask you and tell you, oh, this is the form, or this is not the form, or tell me what you mean by this. Oh, let's write it this way. That is illegal. That is unlawful practice of law in the United States. So let's remember that. Okay, so notario publico or notary public. Second one is paralegals. Paralegals in the United States, with the exception of 2 states currently, and only 2 states in the United States, are legal professionals who are working under the supervision of a lawyer. They are working under the supervision of an immigration lawyer, and that is how they can provide legal services. They do not by themselves provide legal services, and they cannot provide legal advice. You might have a meeting with a paralegal if they are working for an immigration lawyer, but other than that, the only difference between, they are really the same as notary publics or notario publicos, okay? Now, immigration lawyers or any lawyer in the United States goes through 4 years of college, then they could go to 3 years of law school. After that, they go to 2 years of advanced legal training, and they must maintain and keep up to date with legal education and do continuing legal education courses and so on, and are licensed to practice law in the United States. So what does that mean? It means they can give you legal advice, tell you how to proceed, what your options are, costs, pros and cons, which is better, which is worse, how to do it, how not to do it, okay? So hopefully this helps with the explanation, and hopefully this makes you guys decide. Obviously, an immigration lawyer, in most cases, is going to charge you more than a non-licensed individual. What you do have to remember, we have seen cases in which notary publics and paralegals engaged in the unlawful practice of law actually charge more than what a lawyer would charge. Okay, so let's stick with that. Let's see what questions we have. Hi, Gary. Good to see you. Let's see what else we have on TikTok. I saw some questions coming up, so let's address them. Thanks for sticking out with us here. Okay, hold on. Let me scroll. Oh boy. Okay. So let's see what we have here. All right. So Ruben, if my 485 says approved, what's next? So Ruben, when your 485 is approved, that means that your application to register your permanent residence has been approved. So your green card is approved. After you get that notification, you should actually get the actual approval notice, the paper that says it's approved. And generally speaking, within 6 to 8 weeks, you will also receive your green card in the mail. If it has been longer than 6 to 8 weeks and you have not received it, okay, you may want to call USCIS and find out what's not. When they do mail you the green card, the status will change online from green card approved, 485 approved, to card was mailed to the address on file. If you live in a place where you have an apartment number, please keep an eye out on the mailbox. They get lost all the time, okay? So that's what's next. Congratulations, by the way. All right, Hardeep, can I apply any person for visitor visa? I'm assuming you want to apply for yourself. Yes, anyone can apply for a visitor visa, anyone from anywhere, as long as you meet the eligibility criteria. My asylum case court interview complete, but judge is pending decision. What you think about it? Well, I don't know anything, Simran. I don't know anything about your case. Generally speaking, if your case court interview is complete, the judge can take as long a time as they want to make a decision in your case. When they approve the case, but not all the time, generally speaking, when they approve the case, they approve it right away. If they are if they issue a decision and they are going to deny your case, they actually have to write the basis for the denial, and that sometimes takes longer. you might want to look to see what other options you have. If the judge approves your case, then you are eligible to apply for permanent residency after that. If they do deny your case, then you have to look and see what other options you have. Perhaps the judge would have offered you voluntary departure. And I'm assuming and I'm hoping when you did your asylum case, you did not choose to do this on your own and you had an immigration lawyer help you. If you did, please contact your own immigration lawyer and ask them about the next steps. If not, let us know where your case court is and we'll see if we can help you. Give us a call. We don't normally handle cases in immigration court, especially where we are. It's not worth it. All right, let's see. Who else we have? Okay. So last week, my asylum is approved. Can I apply for a green card now? No, you have to wait. Sergio, how long does it take to be approved advanced parole with residence? So when you're applied for permanent residency, you also applied for a work permit and advanced parole. Depending on where you are in the country, okay, you might actually get the residence before you even get the work permit and the advanced parole document. I don't know where you are located. We are in Florida. I can speak to here. Some of the residents, some of the people here are getting their residency before they get the advanced parole. The advanced parole takes anywhere between 5 months and 10 months currently. My wife is undocumented. Will my citizenship application be affected? Generally not, but they will. The government will want to see how you obtained your permanent residency. Did you obtain it through marriage? And they're going to question your marriage to your first spouse through which you got your green card, and they're going to question the current marriage. They want to make sure there is no marriage fraud involved, okay? But generally speaking, just being married to someone who's undocumented, no, it will not affect you. All right, let's see what else we have. Come on, guys. I know you guys have more questions. Okay, my VAWA was approved 2018. I-485, it's pending adjudication 2.5 years now. Why is taking so long? What it means? Well, if it was approved in 2018, we are looking at 5 years. We are not looking at 2.5 years. Why did you not apply for 485 immediately after your VAWA was approved? Or why didn't you apply for adjustment at the same time? You may have applied for adjustment when you already had a removal order. And if that's the case, your 485, it's not going to be approved and you need to take additional steps. You had VAWA. That tells me that you probably did not file for this on your own. You had a lawyer. Please talk to your lawyer and ask them about it. If you don't have a lawyer, I'll be more than happy to look into it. Just give us a call, 954-466-0070. We help people everywhere make the United States their permanent home, okay? It doesn't matter if you're not in Florida, we can still help you. So give us a call, book a consultation, and give us all the receipts so we can look at it, and then we can look into that. But why would it take so long? It shouldn't take that long, okay? If it's been pending 2.5 years, almost 2.5 years, generally speaking, just about now, you should be getting an approval. My bigger question is, why didn't you apply sooner? Did you have a removal order? Did you have a prosecutorial discretion granted? Did you have the removal order set aside? I need to know more about your case in order to tell you why would it take so long. But I would be concerned, okay? It could be that they may not have jurisdiction to make a decision on your case. How to report a VAWA abuser claiming they are the victim when they are the abuser? I don't know. We don't help anyone report anyone. That is not what we do. So I wouldn't even know where to begin with that. Brenda, I called USCIS, scheduled biometrics appointment after waiting 5 months for the advanced parole. We did speed it up or delay my app. Generally speaking, you want USCIS to do their processing within their timeline. Every time you call or file an inquiry, your case actually, it's like you're on a highway. When you're filing an inquiry, you get on a ramp, and at some point, hopefully, you get back on that highway. That's what happens when you make a call or you call, especially when it's within processing time. Now, if you had a scheduled biometrics, okay, did you go? Did you not go? You didn't get the appointment notice? Tell me more about what happened, Brenda, so I can give you more information, all right? Oh, Mrs. Montes, my case changed from actively reviewing to approve. Is my interview waived? Yes, and congratulations. That is fantastic news, okay? Now, what you need to do is wait for the actual approval notice and for I'm hoping the green card. I don't know what kind of application you had, and hopefully your card in the mail. Can I get advance parole to go to my aunt's funeral? Well, funeral is not necessarily an emergency, okay? To apply for emergency advance parole, you have to call USCIS. You have to tell them what the emergency is, and hopefully they give you an appointment within a few days. To relocate options via B1 visa. You cannot relocate to the United States with a B1 visa. A B1 visa, it's a temporary non-immigrant status. So it means you cannot apply for that visa with the intent to relocate and remain in the United States. Do you have to live with your partner after marriage? That question, just the question itself, it's a million red flags, bells going off about marriage fraud. Do you have to live with your partner after marriage? Why are you getting married if not to live with your partner? Any thought about passport delays? Book a travel, book a trip, and then make it an emergency appointment and go there and apply for emergency passport. Otherwise, you're going to be waiting the few months that it takes to get the passport. I applied for the tourist visa. The appointment, it's next July. Is it other way to get early? Most of the time, no. There are ways to expedite some visas that usually does not apply to tourist visas. You could be getting an earlier appointment if you have an emergency, or, for example, you have to come and meet with someone in the United States that's making you, for example, a job offer, and otherwise you lose the job offer, but it has to be in the interest of the employer. You have to come for somebody to medical treatment. I mean, there are different ways to expedite, but generally, nope, you're not getting it early. What's going on? I've been waiting on my work permit for now 6 months. What should I do? Continue waiting. Work permits right now take 7 to 9 months, and it depends on the category. When I say 7 to 9 months, means regular green card based on marriage, okay? If you have a different category, a DACA, a TPS, asylum pending, whatever it is, it could be taking longer. There are some categories where the work permit right now takes a year and a half. So I would need to know more about the category for your work permit, the place where you applied. It's a lot more going on, okay? I have B1, B2. Can I come to US and change status as J1 if I have a job offer? If you have a job offer that specifically qualifies you for a J1, you should apply for that J1 at the consulate. You should not come and do a change of status. Also, you want to make sure that J1 visa that you are going to get, is it subject to 2-year home residency requirement or not? Because if it is, and then you come and you want to stay in the United States, you're not going to be able to get a green card. Sergio, seriously, give me more information and let's see if we can help you, but good, okay? I got requests for initial evidence online, but haven't gotten the letter in hand. Sweet face, how long ago was that letter, was the notification that they are requesting more information? And request for initial evidence or request for additional evidence, two different things. Initial evidence, they are trying to make a decision in your case, but they can't because they're missing something that you should have submitted to them the first time. Okay, so if it's been more than 30 days and you don't have that letter, you want to call USCIS and make sure you get it, because there is a deadline that it's on that letter that you have to submit your documents by. Okay, so let's see. How long does it take to be granted voluntary departure if an asylum seeker applied for it? Heather, was the asylum denied? Or is the asylum still pending in court? That's not exactly what it is. Voluntary departure is a relief from deportation, from removal from the United States. If you applied for asylum, the asylum has to be first referred to the judge. Second, if it's referred to the judge has to deny your request for asylum, and then they would have to grant you the voluntary departure. Usually that happens all at once. In the judge's chamber, they deny the asylum and grant you the voluntary departure, and then you have 90 days to leave the United States. Okay, I applied for my 2-year green card to my 20 years, but I got back a 4-year instead. I don't understand your question. Okay. Give me more information, okay? All right. I'm in Dubai. I'm planning to come to America to look for a job, but I don't know how to start. You do not start by coming to America and then looking for a job. You start by looking for a job in the United States by going online to US job boards and finding an employer in the United States who is willing to sponsor you for your visa. That's how the process works. Brenda, can you tell us about the combo card, please? Okay, that's a good question because it just changed recently, and in some cases, they are still issuing the combo cards. In some cases, they are not, okay? So what used to happen is when you apply for a green card, you are also applying for a work permit and a travel permit. They used to send you one card. So when they issued the work permit, on that particular work permit, the code was different. And it said on the bottom, you are also eligible for advanced parole under section blah, blah, blah. Okay. Now they are no longer doing the combo cards on some cases. They are going to send you the work permit separately. And then they are going to send you an advanced parole page, a document that allows you to travel. So that's the difference in how they are doing it now. Okay, and that depends by location, case type, and so on. I'm looking for marriage in US to settle in US to get green card. Please suggest. Find someone to fall in love with who's a US citizen or a permanent resident. Then you guys decide to get married, decide to form a life together, and then that person can sponsor you for the green card. If my change of status from B1 to F1 is denied and I do not leave, would I get a deportation order? No. So you do a change of status. That change of status right now takes about 2 years. At some point, you are going to get approved or denied. If you get denied and you don't leave the United States, you're still overstaying your visa. Would you get a deportation order right away? No, because it's not a priority, but at some point you might. What you want to do while that application is pending, you might want to find other options for you to remain in the United States or to come back to the United States. You might want to find, I don't know about your marital status. You're married, you're not married. You might want to find the love of your life, or you want to find an employer who's willing to petition for you. You should also, if your country is eligible for green card lottery coming in October, you want to apply for that green card lottery. Okay. So Sexy Bless, hey, you just answered my question. So that was good. So you said you apply for your 10-year green card, but I got back a 4-year instead. That 4-year that you got back, that is not an approval. That letter, okay, is only the receipt of your case, which means we received your application and we are now going to look at it. But because we are so slow, that's the government saying, because we are so slow, we are going to extend the current green card, even though it may have expired, by a period of 4 years, because that's how long they expect your application to take. Okay? That does not mean your 10-year green card is not approved. It doesn't mean it's approved. It just means your case is pending. Okay? So no, you didn't get an approval. You didn't get a denial. Okay? So let's see. Got it. So you meant 10 years. Now you have to wait. Now, how long have you been waiting with that 751 application that you filed for the removal of conditions? Has it been longer than a year? Also, what I want to know is, tell me if you're still married and living with your spouse. Okay? Eva, hi. My husband's 601A was approved and received the approval notice. What's next and how long? Well, it depends. 601 is only a waiver of his unlawful presence. I'm assuming he came to the United States without a visa, and he must go back to his country to get his visa approved. So once the I-601A is approved, it goes to the National Visa Center, or if it's already in National Visa Center, hopefully you have that approved. And now you're just waiting for the consulate to schedule him for the visa. What's next? It really depends on the actual case and how it progressed and where you are. I don't know anything about your case, but normally National Visa Center and a consular process, it could take another 2-3 years, depending on the country of origin for your husband. Give us a call. We might be able to help you with that. Okay. You had a 601A and that was approved. So I'm assuming you already have an immigration lawyer. Guys, you should always call your own immigration lawyer first, because they are the ones who know the most about your immigration case. I can only give you general information. For me to give you accurate 100% advice, you actually have to call me, give me a lot of information, book a consultation. I have to review that. So your lawyer knows best, okay? James, if my wife has a newborn baby, what's the process for getting a visa? I don't know. Is your wife the citizen? Are you the citizen? I don't know who's in the United States, who's not in the United States, what is the other person's immigration status. So James, need more information from you. Gemstone, can I tell USCIS about the mistake I made in my application, or just wait to hear from them? You want to let USCIS know as soon as possible. However, there are exceptions, in which case you cannot let them know and you actually have to wait for them to make a decision. But if they make a decision based on information that it's false or it's not 100% accurate because you made a mistake, then you might have a problem later on. So in most cases, but not all, it's best if you let them know before you hear from them, okay? And how you do that depends on the type of application that you have pending, okay? You filed 485 after your VAWA was approved. Removal proceeding was dismissed in 2020. So here is the problem, okay? You filed a 485. You said your VAWA was approved in 2018. Did you file your 485 in 2018 before or after the removal proceeding was terminated? If you filed your 485 before your removal proceeding was terminated, you're not going to get the green card through that 485. You have to file again. Okay. Now, if you filed for the green card after your removal proceeding was terminated, then you're fine. You just have to wait. Okay. You're still getting a work permit, so you're fine. I already addressed the combo card question. Ottman, I-130 approved. What's next step? Well, I don't know. Is this based on marriage? Is this based on what? Spouse, mother, father, children? I don't understand. Are you the beneficiary, meaning are you outside the United States, or are you the foreign national already in the United States? I-130 approved could mean a million things. Please tell me more, okay? After a biometric, how long will you wait for a work permit and social security? It depends on the category for your work permit. Work permits in general take about 7 to 9 months. There are some categories that are as long as a year and a half, and you will not get a social security until after you get the work permit. So hopefully you have one of those faster cases and you'll get the work permit sooner rather than later. And after that, about 6 to 8 weeks, you get your social. All right, let's see. About filing for a green card, this is based on asylum. After, you don't have to wait a year after asylum is approved. I haven't read that update yet. I know it came recently. I didn't get a chance to read it yet, so I don't know. I wish I could tell you. Come back again when I do my other live and I'll have an answer for you. I'll look it up, okay? Because I'm curious now. Great. I got a text with a receipt number from USCIS. When will I receive the approval notice? Oh, sorry, with the receipt notice. You should be getting it within 10 days, because if they gave you a receipt number, they already are issuing it. So just wait. You should be having it within a week. If it's been 30 days and you don't have it, call USCIS. Okay. I have TPS. I left US without travel parole. How can I come back to the US? Well, you don't have TPS if you left the United States, because you're no longer in temporary protective status. TPS means temporary protective status. It means two things. It's temporary, and second is a status. When you leave the United States, you no longer have the status. You left without advance parole. You cannot come back on TPS. So I don't know what your other options are. Depend on your family history, immigration history, criminal history, and all that. You screwed up, okay? So you want to book a consultation with an experienced immigration lawyer and talk to them about it, see what your options are, okay? Okay, how will I apply for a passport for my new baby? I don't know anything about you or your baby. I'm assuming your baby was born in the United States and you don't have papers. Or is your baby born outside the United States, but one of the parents is a US citizen? All of things makes a difference. I don't know what you're asking. Can I know I received my conditional green card from my husband, but my mistake, I'm pregnant from other guy. Oh, no, 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 no. That is not a mistake, okay? Yes, it does happen. Yes, we see it all the time. That is not a mistake that you can let the government know, oh, I made a mistake. Okay. That is not the specific mistake we were talking about earlier. I don't know if it was your question or somebody else's. So what you do want to do, that is a huge issue. Okay. You want to book an appointment with an immigration attorney and see what your options are. Okay. What's advance parole? Advance parole is a document that USCIS gives you that allows you to travel outside the United States for a brief and casual visit, short, I mean really short. And the government says, if you are coming back after that, we are going to consider that your current green card application is not going to be abandoned, or your current application is not going to be abandoned, and we are going to proceed as if you never left. That's what advance parole does. Can my US citizen daughter, hi Lily, petition for me if she turned 20 last month? Unfortunately, she needs to be 21 to sponsor you. So you need to wait until she's 21. You can start the process about a couple of months early, but do not file until the day after she turns 21. After someone who came across the border and was paroled in the United States with an A number. First, everyone who crosses the border gets an A number. Second, not everyone who crosses the border is paroled. Third, being allowed in the United States doesn't mean you were paroled. Fourth thing, how you got paroled and under what section and when you got paroled, okay, or were you just released on your recognizance, all those things make a difference in whether later on you can apply for a green card. Now, what's next really depends on, they put you in removal proceedings, make sure you never miss that hearing with the judge, and what your options are. Do you have family in the United States? I don't know anything about your situation, but remember what I just said, okay? Can you please explain about VAWA? What do you want to know about VAWA? VAWA is Violence Against Women's Act. That doesn't mean it applies only to women. It also applies to men. And our clients are 50-50 men and women, okay? VAWA requires that you are married to a US citizen or permanent resident. In some cases, being abused by children, it's a thing. Parents are qualified under certain circumstances. But in general, it's a spouse who is emotionally, psychologically, financially abusing you or taking advantage of you. Okay, if that is the case, then you are eligible to apply for permanent residence. If you are asking about that and you are concerned or you have read about it, you don't know if it applies to you, honestly, the best thing to do is book a consultation with an immigration attorney who's very familiar with VAWAs. Okay, not everybody does, and see if that applies to you and if that is an option for you. My pleasure. Okay. Found inadmissible at the border for working on a B1, B2. What are the chances of getting a visa again? It depends. It depends on when you were found inadmissible. Were you returned from the border? Did they give you a 5-year bar? Did they allow you to withdraw your application for admission? Do you have family in the United States? Why do states? In some instances, there are waivers available. In some instances, there are not. Why is too difficult, VAWA? Because the burden on Jaime, it's very difficult to prove a VAWA case. Okay, you have to prove the abuse. You have to actually show that it's not just regular abuse, husband and wife fighting each other. You have to show that it's extreme and exceptional, and that's a very high standard of proof. It's not just your word against theirs. So yeah, VAWA cases are very complicated. Okay, can they be done? Oh yeah, we do them day in, day out. We do them all the time. Not everyone we have a consult with qualifies though, okay? Can a US citizen travel from New York to Florida without passport because it takes long to renew a passport? If you are a US citizen, you can travel anywhere in the continental United States. You do not need a passport. Okay, so that's a weird question. I'm not saying weird, it just makes no sense. And you can also travel as a US citizen anywhere else in the world. You just need a passport for that. But within the United States, you do not need a passport. How do I know if USCIS got my medical exam? You send them in January. The time limit to send them has expired. Well, when you sent your medical in, I'm hoping you sent it with a tracking number, right? So you go to USPS, Postal Service, and you make sure that your package was delivered. You would also see on your case status online, you would see that your case, we have just received your response to the request for evidence. So you need to make sure that that status has changed, okay? But if you sent it and if you included there your alien number and all that other information and what application is pending, it's very likely it's already on your file. So just verify, you can check that, all right? Lily, my pleasure. All right, let's see. How many times I can travel on 551 stamp? Immigration judge granted adjustment of status. As long as that 551 stamp is valid, you can travel on it. Yes, they have family in the US. Okay, so depending on the family that they have in the United States. By the way, when I'm saying family in the United States, Miss Chin, I am saying I am talking about spouse or children who are adults and who are US citizens. I'm not talking about cousins, aunts, uncles, and so on. Okay. So it depends on where they are and what their options are for becoming a permanent resident, if they have any. All right, let's see. I think I'm all caught up on the questions because I see a lot of people putting the same question 20 times. I don't know why. Okay, there was a 5-year bar. So minimum 5 years, you cannot travel back to the United States. You can apply for a waiver for the inadmissibility. It depends on the inadmissibility. You do have a copy of that sworn statement that you gave the officer at the border. So that should give us enough information to determine if you can come here sooner or not. Now, let's say 5 years are done and you want to apply for a brand new visa. If you already had a 5-year bar and you are found inadmissible, it is very unlikely you are going to get another visa. You might want to look into coming to the United States as a permanent resident, because if you are doing that, then your inadmissibility as a non-immigrant doesn't apply to your immigrant application. Pinky Petit Rose, I come from France. Is this a waiver exists for fraud past 20 years? It depends on the fraud, okay? What did you lie about, okay? Did you claim to be a US citizen when you were not? Did you commit fraud as in a criminal offense? And it depends on where the criminal offense occurred. How long was the sentence for? It depends on so much information, okay? Andre, where are we stationed? We are located in Florida, okay, but we help people everywhere make the United States their permanent home. It doesn't matter where you are located. We have clients in every single one of the 50 states in the United States, and many countries. Okay, so it doesn't matter. All of our consultations are via Zoom like this, online, and we can help you. Is it true they're going to drop the vaccine mandate in May or April? Until I see it in writing, I don't believe it. That's one. Second, just because it's a vaccine mandate to come into the United States doesn't mean that you don't need to get the vaccine to get the green card. You're still going to need that no matter what. So just to come to the United States, they will drop it, probably. I think it's announced. But for green card purposes, you're still going to need to get the vaccine. My mother is a green card holder and I'm a European citizen. Can I immigrate? Depends on your marital status, your age, country, and so on. European citizen doesn't mean shit. Okay. Which country? Okay. How many times? How long? Okay. Makan wants to know, how long does BIA motion to reopen take? Oh boy, that's a great question. So that's a question we got on YouTube. BIA motion to reopen can take as long as they want. We have some applications that are still pending a year to a year and a half later. And then we filed one and we got a response within 4 months. I think the one that got approved in 4 months was an exception. And it was because the petitioner in that case was a US veteran. The other ones, unfortunately, are a very long time. They do not have to give you any status on that. We have a few pending as well. All right, let's see. If I marry green card holder now, can you get work permit even the bulletin is not current? No, you cannot. So you can marry the green card holder, but you cannot apply for a green card or get a work permit based on that until the visa bulletin is current. Island Girl, mom files I-130, petition approved. I got married now to family at NVC. Mom passed away now. Okay. So Island Girl, just because mom passed away, I'm sorry to hear that. Okay. That's never, nothing anybody wants to hear. Okay. You still have options. Okay. If you got married, you would be in a different category, so your category may no longer be current. But if your mom passed away, you can still revive the application by having a petition for reinstatement filed. Unfortunately, those petitions for reinstatement, most of the time they do get approved, but they take years. Okay, you cannot do that on your own. You need to get an immigration lawyer to help you with that. Yes, if you had a 5-year bar and if you marry a US citizen, that US citizen can petition for you, and then your 5-year bar and inadmissibility will not matter. You should be able to come back to the United States. The government absolutely can waive that inadmissibility, or they can ask for a waiver anyway. Okay. I was a derivative on pending asylum, now AOS to marriage US citizen. Do they look at the asylum case? You were a derivative, so probably not. They will not look at it. Let's see. Hold on. I scrolled too fast. Sorry about that. Okay. Oh, I missed this. So hold on. All right, so there we are. Someone on DACA became registered nurse, either a chance to get a green card. Yes, absolutely. There are options, okay? Especially for medical professionals, depending on their depending on their education, and depends on how much unlawful presence they had before they obtained their DACA, okay? How long after you send the medical will you get your green card or work permit? As long as the government wants. Okay, it still needs to be with your processing time. Sending in your medical doesn't mean much, okay? Doesn't make a change in the process. Can we travel to any other country with the advanced parole with the combo card permit? Yes, you can. Make sure the combo card has the word P after the code. So it could be C09P, and make sure it says on the bottom that's also to be used as evidence of advanced parole under section I-212 or whatever. Okay, so Island Girl, that's where we were. I got married now. My family my mom passes away. Yeah, you can do that. Okay, you can file for reinstatement. So yes. If someone voluntarily leaves the US after being an overstay, can they come back to visit? It depends. It depends on when they were here, how did they got here the first time, how long were they here before they left the United States, and if they want to come back, are they coming legally or illegally? And how long did they overstay? 30 days, 180 days, over a year. So all of those things make a difference, okay? Okay. Oh, subtítulos. I'm sorry. I'll have them next time, okay? What are the chances of getting a skilled visa? Are there chances? Of course, people get them all the time. There are chances. I don't know anything about your education experience, how skilled you are. I don't know if you have an employer who is willing to petition and sponsor you. I don't know any of that, okay? But yeah, you can get skilled visas all the time. I'm visiting on B1. Can I marry F1 student, or I have to wait for 90 days since I entered the US? That is a question that I'd rather not answer right now for you. The way you said it, it implies that you want to do that to find a way to remain longer in the United States. Yes, you would change from a B1 to an F2 status. You do not need to wait the 90 days because theoretically you are applying for another non-immigrant visa. So theoretically, yeah, you can do it. That's not the right way to do it. Can a US citizen sponsor a new spouse after a divorce within 2 years of sponsoring the old spouse? Yes, you can. The standard of proof that it's going to be slightly higher if you sponsored the first spouse. They're going to want to make sure that you're not getting paid to marry these people to bring them to the United States. So yeah, you can do it. You can marry anyone you want, including another person from your home country or wherever they are, but you just have to prove to the government that you're not committing marriage fraud. So you have to do the right thing. How to adjust J1 visa to green card? I don't know. Are you married? Are you having an employer who's willing to petition for you? Do you have a 2-year home residency requirement? I don't know. If my US citizen spouse has criminal record, will that affect my immigration application? If they have been convicted or arrested for a sexual offense, then yes, it will affect your immigration application. There are other types of criminal records that will need to be disclosed to you as the foreign national, but most other issues are not a problem. What's the best way to get experience in law? While in law school, I keep getting rejected due to lack of experience. Depending on what you are applying for, you are not going to get experience in law while you are in law school. You would be getting experience working in a law firm, and you have to show value to the law firm in services that you are going to provide. You cannot work as a lawyer. You may be able to work as an intern. You may be able to work as a law clerk, depending if you're in 1L, 2L, 3L. Okay. And you have to make your resume stand out from everyone else. What do you have to offer a law firm that it's worth for them to get you, right? You want to get experience. So I'm reading it to you critically, because if you are in law school, you need to learn how to read it critically, right? So you said, what's the best way to get experience in law while in law school? The way you phrased it, it's about you getting the experience. That's never going to fly with a lawyer, with a law firm. What's in it for them? What are you giving them that makes them want to hire you? What are you offering to them? That's what you need to focus on, okay? Hope that helps. Alicia, I'm sorry, I didn't see your question. Please post your question again. I definitely didn't see your question. And if you have a question here, most of the time I answer the question. Our consultation fees are posted in my bio. You follow the links in the bio and you will see it. Can a US citizen sponsor a new spouse? I already addressed that. So yes, I addressed your question about your medical. The answer was, how soon after you send your medical will you get your green card or work permit? There is no time period. Okay, it has nothing to do with your medical, and I actually did answer that. It has nothing to do with your medical. It has to do with the medical doesn't make a difference in your processing. If you're processing as a case, if you look at it as a highway, okay, on the as a street, the medical doesn't make the car go around and come back. There is none of that. Okay, so your card, work permit or green card or whatever it is just proceeding as normal, and the medical will be added to it. Okay. I overstay my J1, married a US citizen. I'm doing adjustment of status. Will my overstay affect anything? Hopefully not. I am more concerned about your J1 having a 2-year home residency requirement. If you don't have that, then you're fine. If you're not subject to 2 years home residency requirement, yes, you can adjust status to a green card. Hire an immigration lawyer to do it properly for you, so you don't have to encounter mistakes or delays. I do not have any information on the diversity visa lottery, on the green card lottery. Okay, I addressed most of these questions. Please make sure you respond to that RFE and then you wait. What does refused on a visa status means? A refused means the visa was denied, but if you submit, sometimes if you submit additional documentation to them, they might reconsider. Was it denied 221G, 221G, 214B? What was it denied for? All right, so I've been talking for 45 minutes and I can't do it anymore. For those of you who have not got their questions answered, please send them to me as a message. Sometimes I have time at night and I respond to some of them. If not, I'll be going live, I guess, again, I don't know when, next week on Monday. So I'll see you guys Monday then. I'm tired. Thank you. Thanks for being here. Let's answer some more questions next time, okay? Bye-bye.